Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a bunch of sources that really tackle this core conflict, the tension between fear and actually growing as a person.
Right. Fear, it starts as just an emotion, doesn't it? Pretty natural. But the sources we're looking at argue that if you let it hang around, it kind of morphs into this captivating state of mind.
Captivating, wow, and that becomes the real barrier.
Exactly. It leads to, well, stagnation, anxiety, basically feeling handicapped in your own life.
Which brings us straight to the comfort zone. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah, and these notes define it pretty starkly. Not just a safe space, but like a self-imposed prison.
A prison? How so?
Well, it's that level where you just settle. You
Yeah.
stop taking risks, even good ones, and you convince yourself, this is it. I can't do more.
A prison built on feeling secure, but it keeps you locked in.
Precisely. And people can waste years there.
Yeah.
We've got a prime example right here in the notes, the author.
Oh yeah, the business plan story.
That's the one. Had a solid plan, ready to go at 32. But he waited.
And not just a little wait, he delayed it for 3 whole years, didn't launch until 35.
3 years. Think about that lost time, the lost momentum, and why.
Pure fear, it sounds like. Fear of failing, losing money, the economy, even though his current job was treating him really well.
And isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
That security, that good treatment, it should build confidence, right?
Yeah.
But instead, it became like a safety net that stopped him from betting on himself.
Wow. So his story really sets up our mission for this deep dive then.
Totally. We're aiming to unpack the strategies for living more fearlessly, building real confidence, and finally leaving that comfort zone behind for good.
And the core idea seems to be fear is just an emotion, something you can manage.
And confidence. That's your best weapon against it.
Okay, let's dive into that. The first big thing seems to be a mental shift, starting with purpose.
Yeah, chapter 1 hits this hard. Knowing your life's purpose. That's the starting point. It defines what success actually means to you, not what others think.
Without that clear definition, you just end up busy but directionless.
It's exactly like the author in his early days. He talks about being super busy, ambitious even, but having no purpose driving it.
Just focused on tasks and money, right?
Mm.
And it led to mistakes like triple booking clients, moving but not really going anywhere specific.
Mm-hmm. Purpose acts like a filter for the risks you take. Risks are only really valuable if they fit within your purpose line.
Purpose line, I like that. So it helps you figure out which risks are calculated moves forward and which are just distractions.
You got it. It brings clarity.
Okay, so purpose is step 1. Then the sources get into the subconscious mind. Chapter 2.
This sounds heavier.
It is, but it's crucial. See, the conscious mind deals with facts, logic.
Yeah.
It's objective, but the subconscious, it's subjective. And according to these notes, it basically turns your deepest beliefs into your reality.
Like an engine manifesting things.
Yeah, and it's unfiltered. It doesn't know the difference between, like, objective truth and something you just deeply believe. That's where those examples come in.
The man who keeps saying money is the root of all evil. Right. And surprise, surprise, he stays poor because his subconscious is working to make that true for him. Or the person who insists certain foods make me sick.
And then they actually feel sick when they eat them.
Exactly. It sounds a bit out there, maybe, but the source links it to psychology. Your subconscious accepts the belief, and then your actions, your energy, they all align to make it happen. A self-fulfilling prophecy.
So the solution is...
You have to stop the negative self-talk, especially that I cannot do it stuff. You need to actively affirm confidence.
Because confidence and fear can't live in the same space.
That's the idea. They're mutually exclusive. And building that confidence means becoming an overcomer.
Actively facing fears, not just thinking about them.
Absolutely, like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Huge star, right?
Yeah.
But she had severe aviophobia, fear of flying. For years, she took buses everywhere.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had to consciously decide to face that fear, get help, to stop it limiting her life and career. You have to act.
Okay, so we manage the internal stuff, purpose, subconscious beliefs, but then there are external barriers. Big one. What other people think.
Chapter 3, forget people-pleasing. That fear of judgment is powerful. It makes you live for other people's approval, not your own growth.
The author shares some painful examples there too, doesn't he?
He does. In college, hiding that he was studying hard just to fit in with a crowd that pretended not to care.
Sacrificing his own preparation just to look cool.
And even worse, spending money he didn't have, maxing out credit cards.
Just to keep up appearances with friends, right? To seem like he was on their financial level.
Yeah, that fear of looking poor or uncool drove him into debt. had to move back home. It shows how badly you can sabotage yourself chasing validation.
Ouch. So the fix is realizing your own worth, ditching the victim mentality.
Exactly. Take responsibility for your choices. It's never too late to change course. Look at Colonel Sanders.
The KFC guy.
Yeah. He faced tons of failures, setbacks, well into later life. But he didn't just give up and blame the world. He adapted, kept trying, and eventually hit massive success.
That resilience ties into the next barrier, fear of change itself. Chapter 4.
Right. The source basically says change is life. Resisting change is like resisting growth itself. Think of a seed refusing to sprout because it's scared of leaving the dirt.
That's a powerful image. And this fear often shows up as needing to control everything.
Oh, definitely, the control trap. And the author shares a really intense story about this when his wife was giving birth to their first son.
The C-section story.
Yeah. There were complications, needed an emergency C-section. But his first reaction wasn't concern, it was arguing.
Arguing.
Fiercely. Insisting a C-section wasn't in the plan. He was apparently obsessed with the original plan, even the exact budget he'd set aside for a normal delivery.
Wait, hang on. He was arguing about the plan and the budget while his wife and baby might have been in danger.
That's what the source says. It's a shocking illustration of how tight that control trap can grip you. Resisting that unexpected change felt more important in that moment than anything else.
Wow. That shows how blinding that fear of losing control can be. More threatening than actual physical risk, almost.
It really does. And it highlights the core message. Resisting change just creates massive anxiety. Acceptance and preparation are the way through.
Because change also brings opportunity, right?
Always. If you accept it's coming, you can prepare, be flexible, instead of clinging to one rigid plan that's bound to break.
Okay, so we've covered the mindset shifts, the external pressures. Let's get practical. What actions can you take when fear is still buzzing around? Chapter 8 talks about acting despite fear.
Exactly. That distinction is key. Working because of fear, that's just spinning your wheels, maybe frantically, but not really progressing. Working despite fear, that's making calculated moves forward.
And recognizing that the fear voice can sound a lot like your own rational voice sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's sneaky like that. It disguises itself as caution, as common sense, telling you something's impossible or too risky.
So how do you fight that paralysis? A plan.
A plan is crucial. Fear loves confusion, loves it when you're stuck. A solid plan breaks down big, scary changes into manageable steps, those chewable chunks the source mentions.
So if you just focus on the very next step, the fear doesn't get a chance to overwhelm you with the whole picture.
Precisely. It makes it easier to just do it, as Chapter 8 puts it. Overthinking just feeds the fear.
You have to want the goal more than you fear the potential failure.
That's the essence of it. Execute the plan.
Another tool mentioned is asking for help, Chapter 9. This is often seen as weakness, but the source flips that.
Totally flips it. Says asking for help is a sign of strength. It shows you're serious about overcoming the fear or the obstacle. It shatters that illusion that you have to do everything alone.
The author's father, the fear of water story.
Great example. He had this intense phobia, right? From a near drowning as a kid. Limited his life for decades.
But he eventually got help. Therapy, swimming lessons.
Yeah, he was finally convinced. He understood, or came to understand, that building confidence in the very thing you fear is the best antidote. And it worked. He became a water enthusiast, even went diving.
That's incredible. From phobia to enthusiast.
It shows the power of seeking help. And it's not just personal phobias. It applies to business too.
Like delegating work. Hiring people.
Exactly. The author realized he had to delegate, not because he was failing, but to protect what he'd built and allow it to grow. It frees you up.
So is the underlying lesson there that fear tricks us into thinking we're indispensable, and delegation cures that?
I think that's a big part of it, yeah. That I have to do it all myself thing is often fear-talking, disguised as responsibility. Delegation is smarter.
Okay, one more practical point. Chapter 7, don't be afraid to look stupid. This tackles the fear of failure head-on.
Yeah, failure isn't you being a failure, it's just feedback. Data.
The little girl rollerblading.
Perfect anecdote. 5 years old, competition, falls down almost immediately. Embarrassing, right?
Totally. Most kids would cry or give up.
But her dad gives her this quick, reassuring nod, and she gets right back up, uses that flash of embarrassment as fuel, and goes on to win the race.
Wow. Get up, learn, keep going.
That's the takeaway. Failure tells you to adjust your approach. Getting back up is how you win.
That kind of resilience. That's what we need to sustain this fearless mindset long term. So, Final segment. How do we keep this going? Chapter 5 says, live in the present.
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah.
past. It's for learning, not for living in. If you're constantly dwelling on past mistakes or even past glories, that's fear.
Fear telling you your best days are gone or you're doomed to repeat errors.
Exactly. And the author had a neat practical tip for this.
After resigning, getting rid of the old company stuff.
Yeah, he came back from break and just cleared it all out. Physical items from his old job, gone.
Like literally burning the bridge to the past.
Kind of. Decluttering his space helped declutter his mind, kept him focused squarely on the future he was building. Controlling the reminders helped control the thoughts.
Smart. Next up, gratitude. Chapter 6. How does that fight fear?
Gratitude actively pushes out discontent and fear. It shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have.
And there are tools for this, like journaling.
Yeah, writing down daily wins, even tiny ones,
Yeah.
and consciously expressing gratitude. The author mentions getting simple hand-drawn cards from his sons.
And how much that meant, right? A reminder that the hard work was valued.
Little things like that fuel you. Celebrating small wins is crucial because fear loves to minimize your progress. If you don't acknowledge the small victories, the big motivation can fade.
Makes sense. And the final piece for sustaining this, Chapter 10, never stop learning, always evolve.
Because knowledge builds confidence. Simple as that. If you understand something, you fear it less. Knowledge eliminates that fear of the unknown.
And trust the process, right? Real growth takes time.
Absolutely. Learning makes you valuable, an asset. But true learning also brings humility. It's okay for a leader, for anyone, to say, I don't know, but let's find out together.
That vulnerability builds trust, strengthens teams.
For sure. Being well-informed just dismantles fear's foundation. Confidence steps in where anxiety and confusion used to be.
So wrapping this all up, this whole deep dive, it really hammers home that fear. It's often a distortion, right? A false picture.
A very powerful, but ultimately false representation. And the key is realizing you do have the power to manage it, to control it.
The path out of the comfort zone involves finding that purpose, building genuine confidence.
Taking those calculated actions, asking for help when needed, and just committing to always learning and growing.
And the payoff, what's waiting on the other side?
Well, the sources are clear. Peace of mind, real happiness, maybe even financial freedom. It's not about luck. Success depends on how far you're willing to push yourself.
Time keeps moving. As the source says, you owe it to yourself to be better today than you were yesterday. So the question for you listening is, what's one small action, one concrete step you'll take today to start burning that bridge to your comfort zone? What move will you make towards a fearless mind?